Hey, sorry for the bit of a delay. Let me make sure everything's running smoothly. Sorry about that. Oh, good. How is everyone? How are you doing? Uh, Let me know how it goes. I have a couple of things to share with you, but mostly today, for the first time in a while, I have no agenda, nothing specific really to share. I thought it would be cool to look at this one up close and talk maybe for a bit about why I do want to make another additional version of it, and also perhaps discuss the paper. And I don't know, we can start from there. As always, if you have any questions, anything you'd like me to look at, any artists, even, that's fun. If you have any artists you want us to look at, just let me know and we can do that. Videos, anything that interests you. Sometimes people ask about specific painting videos. Hey, Dwayne, thank you so much for being here. Happy that you that these live streams are entertaining and fun. Really appreciate it. Hey, Darwood, how are you doing? Good morning to you. It is now here 3 p.m. Hey, Hedy, hope you're doing well. Say you haven't painted in a while. Not sure what my next subject should be. Any thoughts? Yeah, don't force it. Whatever comes to you. Sometimes I will go through these periods, and then I'll see something cool outside. I'll take a picture, and it'll kind of be stewing in my mind, and then it'll just pop the idea, and then I'll end up doing it. So that works well for me. It never really succeeds by forcing it. You have to just let the idea come. If you do have some kind of a stock of photos that you've been taking, that would be useful. Just go over them, see if something piques your interest. If it's not, then it's okay. One thing you can always do is sketch just with a pencil, or you can just kind of play around with paint just abstractly and see if something comes up. If not, that's perfectly fine too, Yeah, thank you again for being here, Dwayne. Hey, Nettie, good morning. Hey, Nia, hope you're well. Hey, A Gamachi or Gamash. Gamash. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Really appreciate it. You know how sometimes you sit down and then your phone, your watch goes, "Oh, you completed your standing goal." Okay, I'm sitting down though. Hey, Laura, hope you're doing well. Hello from California. Amy, hey, it's been a while. Thank you for being here. Right, or has it not? Am I imagining? I'm not sure. Hey, Tambo, hope you're doing well. I shared on my Instagram stories. This annoys me to no end. I do this, just changing the angle a bit. I don't know why it annoys me. But in any case, I did a story on Instagram about basically I'm dubbing my YouTube channel, which is a lot of fun. I'm not doing it myself. I'm using an automatic software that is able to dub my voice into different languages, just to make my work a little more accessible to, let's say, native Spanish speakers. That's the one I'm going to start with probably. Had a couple of people offer to listen to the video, make sure I don't sound like an idiot, basically. I'll do like an extra, a new channel, Liron Jankowski Art Espanol, and there I'll put a lot of, I think, just videos dubbed in Spanish. I'll probably change the overlay on the screen. If I have any text labels, I'll translate those too. But I think it would be fun. I think it'll be good. Maybe I can do the same for the course. Just start with one language. I would have wanted to do all of them. It just takes time and work. So yeah, and by the way, today is not going to be too long of a stream, about an hour or so probably. So apologies in advance. Yeah, it's evening here for me. Cool. What time is it then? Aram, hello from Madrid. Love the cars you paint. Thank you so much. I wonder how many people I have from Madrid watching. Probably not a little amount. I don't know why. I have a feeling. I have a good feeling about this. It's funny. When I translated my book to Spanish, my How to Sketch book, uh, it was published in a bunch of places. Among them, is a couple of, I think Argentina, like whole countrywide, and also Madrid. My publisher, I believe, was then at least based in Madrid. So it's a fun thing. I got a few emails from people saying, "Hey, I see your book in the bookstore, in my local bookstore in Spanish." That was fun. Oh, okay, 5:38 p.m. So it's a really minor time difference. That's a cool profile pic, by the way. It's cute. I like it a lot. Yeah, so you've seen this process. I really wanted to film another one for Saturday, but sadly it's not going to happen probably. Um, I like it a lot. There were a couple of risks going into this. So you've watched the video. Now it's more of a meta of how I was, thinking about painting this, and then what it led to. I think the meta of this was, in a way, it's almost like the focal point that leads you here into this focal point, and there's not much there. So that was a risk, because sometimes I like the focal point to be more significant, and these cars are to the sides just get more, they deserve more attention, are a little more prominent. Should I call Ruth so she stops barking? I don't know. But in any case, yeah, so that was a bit of a risk moving into this. But thankfully it did work out in that regard. I'm quite happy with it. The thing that bugs me a bit is the texture on paper, and that may be just me, kind of a pet peeve of mine, but hot press paper tends to do this. Can you see there's a bit of a grainy texture on it? It's different from cold press. Sorry, did I say cold press? I mean, this is hot press. It happens on hot press, and it's funny because cold press is the one with texture, but hot press tends to lead to a bit of a different kind of texture sometimes. And I don't know, it could be that I'm so used to the cold press texture that it blocks the actual texture of the paper and like the material itself, and it covers for it, but it's there too. I'm not sure. I don't know why. It has this grainy feeling. Now I actually see this in a lot of artists who use hot press, more experienced than me too. So more experienced than I am. So I don't know if it's my kind of a problem or anyone's. But in addition to that, I will say also the way the paint handles on hot press is different, and I do prefer often the cold press, the way it behaves on cold press. So I might just do another attempt just for these reasons. The end result, I do like it a lot. Now, because I like it, I'll probably let this kind of sit for a while. I don't want to do it now when it's too fresh in my mind. But yeah, there are some areas where I feel like I've gone into a bit of overwork here. I don't know, a bit of it, and then not enough cleanliness here. This side, for example, I am happy with. This one goes a little looser. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you prefer hot press or cold press? I know it's pretty much split, almost down the middle for many people. But somehow, because I use more cold press, I get more probably cold press fans. But yeah, just curious to hear what you think. Nia, by the way, your paintings are so good. I like the style of your paintings. Thank you so much. I just shared a. This is so funny. Talking about Instagram, and if you're trying to get your work out there. And by the way, thank you so much, Dwayne. Really appreciate it. Thank you again, Nia. Hey, Josephine. Hope you're doing well. Good morning to Ruth and family. Got an art show this weekend. Wish me luck. Cool. Awesome. Good luck. I hope it goes really well. Egamachi, is it granulation of paint or it's the paper? A bit of granulation of the paint with my lunar black, but it's mostly the paper. In this instance, it's mostly the paper. Nia, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to get my watercolor painting competition results. Oh, nice. Okay, good luck. Good luck to you, Nia. Good luck, Josephine. Good luck to everyone. This is interesting. Keep us posted. So it's so funny, you work hard to edit videos and reels on Instagram and other platforms. I do mostly painting processes. So the most logical thing to do is to take these processes, cut them down into a minute long videos, and post them as reels, shorts, whatever on YouTube. And that takes a lot of work, actually. Um, you need to format it to the vertical phone format, which is not that bad, but things move in the video, so you have to rearrange. And then you have to cut to the interesting parts. You can be sloppy about it, but then the result isn't as good. So you really have to scrub through the footage and select. You just look at what the brush is doing and include that. The thing is, it takes a long time. But it's like those crazy things where the thing that takes a lot of time doesn't always get the most views. There's a different format out there that gets more views. It's the silliest thing. You just hold a painting like this. You have some text here, whatever, not on the painting physically. You add text in the video editing in Instagram, whatever. In the software, you can do it in Instagram. And then you just go like this. You rotate it. You pause here. You show a bunch of footage from the process, but not as much as you would if you cut it to a minute long, just a couple of small snippets, and then you show the final painting. And then for the thumbnail, you put the painting reverse and then the text, the part with the text on the screen. It works better if the painting is framed, and that gets you easy views, like 3 times from what I tested. If I post a process video, it'll get for Instagram, say, you post a process video where, again, you work to cut out bits, you narrate it. I explain what I'm doing real fast, just the general gist of it, because it's 1 minute long. I'll edit, I'll do all of this, post it. It gets, if it's really good or something is extra interesting, it will break through the 10,000 views or more. But mostly it's like 5, 7, 9, whatever. And then if you post this silly thing where you just go like this, rotate it, it takes like a quarter of the time and it gets 3 times the views easily. A bunch of them got like 30,000. And it's hard for me to get these numbers more than it was in the past. So it just goes to show you how it's silly, right? I don't know. I think I realize what it is. I think most people aren't looking for a how-to. It actually makes sense. They're looking for inspiration. And when you show them a process and you explain what you're doing, that's more of a how-to. Now, it is shorter, so 1 minute. It's not a big investment, so people watch. But I think if you just show them a complete piece with a few snippets from the process, it's just inspiration, and it's easier for people to watch, you know? And there are so many examples of this where the more well-edited, like, work put into the content, the worse it does sometimes. To me, I know that my best videos on YouTube, just the normal format, not shorts, my best videos are the ones where I just go into techniques real quick, just one technique, simple thing, really easy and accessible. Sometimes it's not even a complete painting, it's just an exercise, and that gets more views. You just watch, you do a couple of exercises, a couple of things. If I actually do a process like this, it will almost always get fewer views. The videos I am happy with the most are the ones where it's a long, complex process and it still gets like 100,000 views, you know? So it's so weird, right? And some of my best processes are buried under a really small amount of views. This is why I did the video a couple of, a long time ago, a couple of months, many months ago, where I talked about my most underrated videos. And a good example is that night scene I posted a while ago. It's an hour plus long video. It got like 3,000 views, and it's one of my best demonstrations of technique, right? And it's just hidden there. It's a hidden gem. Now, for those who are most serious about learning, they find these videos. They know to find them. So that 3,000 views is an indication of the core audience that actually wants this. So I try to cater to all if I can, but you have to prioritize because there's a limited amount of time, and this is my business. I need this to make money. So if I work really, really hard on a video that's very complex, it takes me a couple of days, and then it gets 3,000 views. It translates to X amount of sales for the courses, right? This is a bit of art business, right? If you want to build a business around your art, it's most relevant. If not, sorry. If you just want to paint, that it's a hobby. My apologies, which is most people. But yeah, and then you make a video that's just direct. You barely do any editing. Took you 20 minutes to film, which is the time it took you to paint. You just talk through it all, and then it makes 30,000 views and sells 5 times more. It's so weird, you know? So you want to balance it out, because I want to have a certain standard of content and type of content for every audience, you know? So yeah, It's strange. Let's see what you're saying on hot press. We did talk about that. Tempo artwork. I've noticed the same thing on hot press paper. It's smooth to the touch, but looks grainy. Yes, exactly. That's what I described. Anna, I'm using a fine grain arch journal for a watercolor month project. The finish is similar to 80 grit sandpaper. I'm not sure. I'm not expert on different grits for sandpaper, but 80, that would be pretty sandy, right? It's not that smooth. But my results have been 100% better than usual. Yeah, that happens. Yes, cowboy, indeed. Yes, it is society. I need to. Yes, love short techniques. Tips. So when you say you need to, do you mean you need to build a business around your art, or do you need to watch the longer tutorials? Let me know. Isabe, hey, how are you doing? I like your videos. I prefer editing. Um, so you prefer the edited, shorter version? Actually, let me know. This is interesting. If you're here, you can help me with some feedback. What would 15-minute video showing technique and maybe let's say a decent end result, not like just abstract, but like a small sketch, right? You see it all from start to finish, 10, 15 minutes, specific technique, or something more in depth like this that covers multiple concepts and multiple techniques, maybe 30 to 60 minutes long. Curious to hear your thoughts. Actually, it will dictate what I'm doing in the future, because I want to serve whatever you want, right? If no one wants the super long videos, or maybe a small percentage, I'll make it a smaller percentage, or I'll put it on Patreon. By the way, I do plan on putting a version of this process uncut on Patreon. It's going to be about an hour and something, and we'll show all the mixing, and I'll narrate it too, so that it's not too just silent. So yeah, if you're not supporting me there, you might want to check it out. Dena SG, I personally appreciate the short format how-tos because they can give some more valuable insights, but casually, for when I'm not in the right mindset for tutorial. Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like where most people are. You want the more digestible stuff, and then when you're in the mood, you'll go watch a longer video, which is why it's good, because you can go to the channel and pick whatever works for you. I have many videos already, so yeah, I don't have to film for a year now, and there's still enough for many people to go through. But I do know those who watch every single video, which really bless you, and thank you so much. For those people, I do want to post new videos. By the way, it reminds me of an interesting comment I got. We'll get to that in a second, about the ads in the videos. The way I approach ads is the dumbest way ever, but whatever. Josephine, makes sense. The first video of yours I saw was the avocado. You showed me simple what to do, not to do. Beginner mistakes. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, that makes sense. The avocado video got a lot of views. This format of 1 and 2, and then one is an X and one is a do this instead, it's super clickbaity and it works. I try to back it up with actually a good content. Give the people, the thumbnail shows what they think they need, and then the video shows what they actually need. With that, I try to really give value, but the format itself was, maybe it still is magic, like you just put two side by side, people watch it. It's like these videos, $10 art supply versus $1,000, and it's side by side. These tend to do really well, so it's funny. Jakub, do you ever use white watercolor? It's a good question, actually. Not a lot, because mostly I use gouache when I use white, and I mix it with watercolor. But there's no reason not to. If you have a white that's opaque enough, there's no reason not to. In fact, it might mix a little better with some colors if you want to do, as you say, you use it a lot, it's great. If you want to do a bit of wetter wash and not just like these highlights here that were done with the designer gouache, it might work well. I think someone like Tian Chung Wei uses it really well. Misol Butu, mixing a lot of somewhat opaque paint with transparent, and it works really well. So they might be using like just white, not gouache. I do have some white watercolor. I may give it a try. We'll see. Anna, the brush skips across the arch fine grain. Oh, yeah. The paper rejects the paint. Hard to describe. No, I know exactly what you mean. Oh, thank you. I know exactly what you mean. One of my first watercolor videos, I was barely able to paint. I couldn't figure out what the problem was. I just didn't have enough water on the brush. I couldn't paint. I needed it to be really wet, I was thirsty. Okay, let's see. Isabe. I like overdubbed and sped up. Okay, so my experience with speeding up actually is not so good. I would love to do more of it. Um, it's just that it seems like, let me just type something real quick here. Um, my experience with that has been that when it's time lapse, people lose sometimes interest. It works okay for shorts and reels, but when it's an actual time lapse, people feel like they're missing out. I found what works better is real time, but just cut out a bunch of stuff. Cut out mixing for some of it, cut out some repetitive areas. For example, like I did with this one, this tree, it's super slow and you edit slowly, where it's repetitive. So I removed some of it. Um, Sometimes you have to always actually you have to think about a viewer always, and it's fine. It doesn't mean you compromise as an artist, by the way. You are at the helm, you make the decision, right? So it's not like an either or. It's you choose the right balance for you. That's at least how I treat it. A Gamachi. Super long detailed are awesome to learn, but I need a huge chunk of time. My ADHD likes short snippets video lessons. Yeah. And also what helps with that is the timestamps, which, by the way, I should do for the live streams because it will really improve their rewatchability value. I'm going to write it down. I completely, what's the word for it? I used to do it, but I completely abandoned it. And it's actually important. Sorry, I'm using this stream to write out ideas. Let's see here. Where did I put my okay, yeah, that's important. Okay. So the thing is, live streams obviously get fewer views. That's fine. This is for the people who are here live. A live stream, like if it does well, it'll cross the 2,000 for me. If it can get a couple of thousands, that's great, like 3, 4, 5,000. But the thing is, I can imagine how there is rewatchability if you open up the live stream after it ended and you have timestamps every like 10, 20 minutes so you can see what you're listening to. Because a 2-hour long stream, if you enjoy just listening, that's fine. But I think timestamps can work a little better for that. And I've been neglecting, that's the word I was looking for. I've been really neglecting that. And one more plus, again, just as my perspective as a content creator, funny enough, one more plus of doing this is you can go back and create shorter snippets because you know what happens every couple of minutes in the video. So you can choose this topic and make it into a short. But yeah, the timestamps really help with ADHD, I find. Nia, I know what I'm going to ask is a very unrelated question, but was your journey on YouTube? I'm a small content creator who just posts digital art and animations. By the way, is your profile pic your art? I like it a lot, and I'm struggling with getting views. Yeah. You mean what was my journey on YouTube? A couple of things. I started relatively early, 2015. It's a good topic, actually. I started in 2015. It was a little easier and less competitive, but every small trend there was, I jumped on it. As soon as shorts started, I started making shorts. I think it comes down to a lot of things. I listened to someone talk about it recently, and he compared social media to chess. It's not checkers, it's chess. So it's not like a checklist you go through of, the content, the thumbnail, the all of these need to be as good as you can, but it's a bit more complex than that. But I would start with this, right? So every little thing you have control over is important. So the title of the video does matter. The thumbnail of the video does matter. The tags you use do matter. The description matters. All of this matters. So that's important. The other thing is, I would say it's a bit of a dance between you and the audience. You need to figure out what people actually watch. Just like the example I told you earlier of like cutting a process into a short or reel, working on it for a long time, and then it doesn't get as many views as just doing this. Same kind of concept. You need to first post to see what people react to, and then just make more of that. It could be, in your example, a certain format, maybe Q&A, maybe paint along. Some people have success, and you wouldn't necessarily think it would work, but doing a session together with the audience. So maybe you have something you work on, digital art, and you just do what I do. You capture your screen as you paint, and you show your face or whatever, an avatar, and you just invite people to create with you. And a lot of other people who are painting and doing digital art and doing traditional art and sketching, whatever they're doing, it's a fun thing to just listen in while you work. People do that too with writing, believe it or not. There's this Abby Emmons. She's wonderful. She's a YouTuber and writer and YouTuber, who does really good videos on writing a book, storytelling, defining, building the characters, their motivations, psychology, all of that. She does a wonderful job at that, and she has streams that are right with me. So what she does is she does a stream of maybe 2 hours or 3 hours where she works, she writes, and every 20 minutes or so, or 25 minutes or 30 minutes, she takes a break together with the audience. And so if you're a writer, it's a really cool thing to do to motivate you almost to do it. Just sit down, write with her in the background. Maybe she puts music on, maybe she doesn't. And then you take a break together, you listen a bit, maybe listening to her talk gives you some ideas. So the reason I'm going into details here is because there are so many different formats, and everyone will have the format that works best for them. For you, it may be this. For someone else, it may be just painting and showing the process. For someone else, it'll be showing a time lapse of the process and doing a bit of narration. You have someone like, what's his name? James Gurney, who does 5-minute long, 3-minute long videos, just the highlights of the process. You have someone like me who does 30 minutes, an hour, 12 minutes. You have someone like Jaza, who highly edits the processes and just does a lot of wacky stuff and experiments. There are so many formats, so sometimes it's about finding the format that works for you. And it's just not just your audience and your niche, it's also your personality. Maybe it works best for you to interview someone, right? Maybe it works best for you to stream together with someone, like I did with Steve Mitchell. I invited him. Basically, I said, there's a bunch of questions. I asked my audience, let's do a Q&A together where we bounce off each other's ideas and just answer people's questions. And it's really good for him because he doesn't have to set it up. He just joins in. I kind of run the show, and we both answer questions. So it's about that. And sometimes you'll try a lot of different things, and everything gets 12 views, right? Or 20 views, whatever. But one thing will get 200 views, and that's an opening for something for you to explore. If you're lucky, something will get like 5,000 views. And then okay, this type of content works. And just based off of that, you'll get new subscribers that are interested, That's what I think. All of the rest, like the obvious stuff, consistency, frequency, the more, the better. The quality, all it has to do is be good enough, A lot of artists do really well with channels that just talk about the meta of making art and their art business. That works for many people. I sometimes do that, but these videos don't tend to do as well for me. When I talk about the business side of art, it gets less views. Now, are these people who watch these videos, do they get some value from it? I'm sure they do, but it just makes less views. So with time, you learn what works better. And it does mean starting small, right? My difference is between 2,000 views and 20,000 views. Yours will be between, I don't know, again, I'll have to look into your channel, but yours might be the difference between 100 and 600, right? Just a couple of cents. Feel free to ask any follow-ups. It's a topic I really am interested in. In fact, I think about maybe going into business into that, because a lot of artists are struggling with that. But we'll see. Maybe I'll create a product for that. So yeah. Hope that helps. Digital art and animations work really well. Animations, by the way, are great for shorts, just fun, quirky conversations with a punchline. That can get a lot of views. And then if you want to, you can make a video showing how you made the animation. It will get less views, but slowly and surely. I can't click your channel here through the stream, I think. If I could, I'd go visit it now. Actually, let me just, I'll open the stream on YouTube. I can do it here. I don't know. We'll see. I'll find it. Let's see. We can do a quick little thing here. Um, Go to channel. There we go. Let's see what you got here. Okay, that's cool. I subscribed. I'm your 86th subscriber. If anyone likes animations, you want to support Nia, go ahead, check the channel out. I'll look into it later on, give you some more thoughts if you want. Let me know. Feel free to send me a message or something. But yeah, good luck. You can do this. Isabe, only about 3 on my feed with up to your quality for watercolor. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. Honestly, if you have something the viewers can't get anywhere else, you have a real gift. So someone like Misselboo, and I don't know of many people who can paint this well, portraits especially. So zero competition, right? If you can really master a niche, that can help. To me, I don't know how many people paint cars like this in watercolor, especially. Right, there are, and I have followers who send me car paintings that are crazy good, but there aren't many on YouTube. So that's me. If you want that, you'll check out my work eventually. Raymond, hey, how are you doing? Brilliant videos, learn so much. Thank you so much, Raymond. Really appreciate your support. Means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So, but yes, editing is even better in all cases. Yeah, you have to kind of think of the audience, right? Make it, you don't want to waste their time. Sometimes the video's intro is so long, I just move on, But yeah. Josephine, I was a white watercolor snob for years, but this summer I've been adding it here and there. It started with a plein air by Lake Ontario, and there was smoke in the air from Quebec wildfire. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way of creating that smoky, blurry feeling, right? You can do that with gouache too, by the way. Rookie, subscribe to some Rookie Goosey. Let's go with the full name. That's a weird looking goose, quite scary. Subscribed to some Japanese artists on Twitter, and he does a lot of foliage and trees in general. In the process images, so he's got almost half of the sheet covered with masking fluid. Interesting. Yeah. Masking fluid I find is popular with some Japanese painters. There's something very clean about it. And there are a lot of highlights in foliage. For example, this tree here, full of highlights that I added later on. And that's a matter of personality. I like to paint things directly. So sometimes I'll skip, but often I'll just use opaque paint. Some artists like to mask them out. And both have kind of drawbacks and both have weaknesses. And sometimes you have to be careful because masking can add an extra border around it and make the gaps too large and too unbelievable. By the way, I have a commission work I'll start working on soon that will require a bit of masking fluid in the gap of some foliage. So that happens. And then you have to work a little slower. I forgot the name of the artist I saw that does that. Japanese, really good. Isabel, I love timestamps. Yeah, for sure. It's super useful. Les is smilingly trying. That's a cool username. I'm finally learning how to see in big shapes. Yeah, that's huge. Still having a lot of trouble with basic composition and learning how to see shadows is something other than gray. Thank you so much for all your advice. Yeah, and a good trick, if you can open the picture in some kind of a photo editing software that lets you move between black and white and color. iPhones can do it too, and I'm sure Samsungs, whatever, probably every phone can do this. And you can just alternate between the two, jump between the two, look at a spot that gives you trouble, and alternate between the gray and the color. As soon as you move from gray to color, you'll know what it is because you have a reference point. You saw it a second ago as a gray, and as soon as it turns into color, I can actually demonstrate this. Let's do a quick demo, and then we'll continue. So I'll look at this painting that we're looking at right now. It's in my folders here. Call it, let's try and paint a masterpiece. I'm going to open up the painting. And I believe I have a black and white version of it. If I don't, I'll make one. I'll make one real quick. This is worth showing because so many people struggle with this. So here is the painting image mode. You'll see it in a second. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. So now I have two versions of the painting. Okay. Check it out. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen, window, this one. Okay, check it out. So here we have our photo, right? Now, this is black and white. As soon as you do this, it's immediately obvious. So let me give you an example, right? And you do this with your reference photo, not with the painting, of course, but it's still a good example. Actually, I'll have to do it in Photoshop. So give me a second. If you really want to see it, Photoshop will be a little easier. And I'll do it with the reference. You know what? Let's do it with the reference. Just so that I can really show you this in effect, because the colors are more, the colors are a little more nuanced in the reference. I'm gonna have to name my file. Oh no, it doesn't actually doesn't matter. Okay, reference black and white, image mode grayscale. Okay, sorry about that. I'll share with you in a second. Oops, that's not the folder. Reference black white. Okay, check it out. So we have both the reference and the. Okay, check it out. So here's the reference photo, right? Now you close your eyes. Okay, look at this color of the shadow, right? What do you see here? Do you see like a gray? You're not sure, right? What is this shadow? And it happens to people with shadows because shadows are more nuanced. So what is this? Like this is warm kind of. So what is this, a blue? Is this a purple? What is this color, right? What is this color? Hopefully you opened your eyes. What is this color? Check it out. I'm going to turn this black and white. Okay. Now, when I turned it black and white, did it look warm? Did it look a little yellow? It might have. But this is the magic. Okay. Now look, I'm going to turn it from black and white to color. You tell me what color you're seeing in the chat. I want you to write it down. What color is that? Let's go back to black and white. Okay, black and white. What color is that? Can you tell what color the shadow is? It no longer looked like gray, right? The color is exactly green blue. So let's smile and try and you got it exactly. So you see, you were able to recognize it. See, it's a kind of a green blue. It's close to the green. It's more towards the blue, depending on where you're looking, right? You want to do this again? We can do another exercise. You all got it, right? The after image, exactly. Fuse blower, exactly. The magic of after image. That's right. So, yeah. I just want to make sure I get all of your chats. Okay, let's do another one that's kind of tricky, right? Look at this thing here, right? What is this? You know, it's a little confusing, right? It's like it's a green, but it's not really a green. So let me just obstruct it for a moment. Let's go to the black and white version. Okay, so check it out. What is this color? Like, what exact color is that? Even when you do this, you won't get necessarily the exact answer, but it's a good little exercise to do to test yourself. So let me turn off black and white. It's the same blue, right? I mean, it's darker, but it's pretty much a blue, right? It's a green blue, but it's a blue. You see? It's just a blue. How crazy is that? Can you see the blue here? So if you go ahead and paint it green, by the way, like I have, you made a mistake. Guess what? Which is why I'm probably going to go over this and make some adjustments. Congratulations. You saw things inaccurately. Another one is this building. What the heck is that? Is it a yellow? What is this? What is this color? What's the color of the walls? You know, let's turn it into color. But what is this? It's a kind of a blue, right? It's a gray. It's a gray blue. Who would have guessed? Now, I knew this in particular, I knew, but I wanted to make it warm. This, I do admit, I knew. So check it out. It's a gray, right? Again, sorry, I'll switch to a layer where I can use the brush. What is this? Not a yellow, right? Now, this is a little more yellow, right? This is more of a yellow-gray, right? And it's very difficult for shadows because they are the ones that tend to be so nuanced, right? If you look at this car, it's a blue kind of dark, right? If you look at this taillight, it's a red. It's easy to tell. And these are easiest to tell, right? Just orange or yellow and orange, right? These are also quite muted, right? Out of context, it will look a little strange next to a strong red. This blue right here, right? What kind of a thing is this? You learn, you improve this ability with time. I hope that helps. It's really a kind of crazy thing, the way it works, right? But you saw how you almost all of you got it. That's how it works. Um, let's jump forward and then we'll go back. Yes, Melanie, thank you for sharing your wonderful talent. Thank you, Melanie, much appreciated. Thank you for always being so supportive. I see you always commenting and taking part. It's really, I'm super grateful for that. So yeah, every color on your palette currently. Wait, is that a continuation of something? I can go over the palette real fast, but my palette is such a random thing. Everyone here got this right: green, blue. My palette is such a messy thing. I'll show you in a second. Isabel, I'm thinking of doing YouTube, but hesitate because of the sustainability, I guess. I'm 75 years and I know how. Don't know how you have probably time and space, just daily choosing. Yeah, I get it. It's hard. Definitely now with a baby, I know how hard it is with kids, and it's only going to get harder. Doing your best. That's the thing. I've settled around like a good video and live stream a week. So a video and a live stream. That's what works for me. But yeah, you have to kind of weigh your options. Tiny Face McGee, my friend, hope you're doing well. I wish you had a live model, a live drawing class. I might do that. I kind of avoid all the nudity stuff. I don't know. YouTube censors it, and I don't know why figurative was never like my go-to. But definitely I can do that. If you're interested in like a live setup of still life, that's definitely something we can consider in the future. Something with a strong contrasty light. That's something I wanted to try for a while now, actually, to paint a still life from real life with my artificial light to get some nice contrast in. I'll consider that. I think it's an interesting, that's a different format right there, right? Because you'll see me and the paper and the subject matter maybe in one room, and I'll alternate between. That's actually a good thing. I'm going to write it down. I went one time to a watercolor teacher just for to meet him and see how he teaches, and he does that arrangement. It works really well. Let's see here, Nia. For some reason, I get really happy when professional artists like you answer a question. Yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't I? I mean, what better thing do I have to do? What's your opinion on student grade? I mean, I could paint, but that I paint. I do all of it. What's your opinion on student grade versus artist grade supplies for someone still learning? Yeah, it's perfect. Student grade is perfectly fine for learning. The only problem with student grade really is whether your painting, if you sell it, will last. That's the only problem. Some student grade paints, let me tell you a secret, they last really well. Even though it's student grade, it will stay the same for 100 years, easy, as long as you don't put it in direct sunlight, which affects all colors pretty much. So, you know, I'm all for it. If you can know the light fastness of every pigment, that would be good, because then you can buy cheap and really pick the pigments that work and keep your costs low. Someone like Misselbu uses student grade paints for a lot of his paintings, and his work is fantastic. Now I wonder if his work will fade more, or is actually they're choosing the specific pigments that are light fast. I'm not sure about that, but I'm all for it. You know, I had one more thing to mention. I don't remember. We'll get back to it. Isabel, only use student grade if you have a lot of spare room in the house. You mean why? Because you'll paint more freely? I'm all for it, by the way. Michael, I'm in Israel. Just started. I'm not sure what you meant, but awesome, cool. It just started watercolor. Got it. What WC you meant to say? We'll get to that. Jap guy, one of my top 3. Who is that? Who is that Jap guy? Yeah, cool, awesome. Good luck. It's fun. It's a fun medium, Michael. Once you get a bit of flow going, it's really, I think it's so rewarding, watercolor. It really got a hold of me, you know. Hey, Woozy86, hope you're doing well. How have you been? Thank you for being here. Jans Art, hey, great to see you too. Hope you're doing well as well. Maybe we'll go a little longer than I was planning. I don't have like a hard cut, but there are a couple of things to do, so yeah. But yeah. Dwayne, perfect place for a timestamp. Yeah, one good thing about streams is I can scroll through the video and I look at your comments down below, which is why it's good that I'm showing them. When the comment changes, I know I probably changed the topic. That's how I do it, like a little hack. By the way, the algorithms and everything really improves, so you can even use something like ChatGPT to try and break down the topics. It's not as good at pointing out timestamps, but it is possible. You have to hack it a bit. It tells you where in the transcript it changes subject. YouTube also added a feature for creating shorts from your videos. So from my YouTube studio, it's called YouTube Studio, like the dashboard, you can just find, based on the transcript, the areas you want to cut. So that works well too. You can do a lot of the tools are there. I have a lot of not sure what you call it, throat stuff. When your nose is runny and then it flows back in your sleep and then it's disgusting. Sorry about that. But yeah, the tools are so advanced now, which is why the competition is bigger, because it's easier to create content. In the past, you need to get a camera and it has to be a good camera. And now it's just the phone, whatever, edit with the software. I film with like a real camera, my processes, but phone works as well. The reason I don't film with my phone is because the files end up being huge and it's a hassle transferring them to my computer. That's the only reason. That's why I have my camera connected to the computer directly, and just it works like a stream. You just record from the camera. I don't have to transfer files. That's the only reason, really. But yeah. Okay, good. Yes. I see that. That was really helpful. The time just popped in there. Yep. That's a lot of tricks you learn with time. Tembo Artwork, you have been working on this YouTube channel for a long time. I started watching for drawing. You got me interested in watercolor. I set up my first palette and brushes based on your recommendations. Ooh, that's cool. I wonder here, how many people here have started watching for the drawing and then stayed for the watercolor? Bonus points if you started for the drawing and you don't like the watercolor. I wonder how many views I lost because I just went all in on watercolor. It just captivated me, right? Now when I do a drawing video, it might not do as well. But I know a lot of people first discovered this channel for the drawing and sketching, and that's something I kind of abandoned a long time ago. I'm doing it for myself, but I don't teach it as much, which I probably should go back to. I'm curious to hear if you discovered it for the drawing and sketching. That's a long time ago, so you're here for a while, right, Tembo? Thank you so much for that. And I'm happy that you kind of continued with me with the watercolor. That's cool. We have shared history. That's really cool. Let's see here. Nia, thank you for subscribing. For me, every subscriber is a gem or a jewel. Yeah, definitely. I think, by the way, a good hack for you, I don't know how comfortable you are with doing a live stream, but live streams are really, I don't see you have live streams. I don't know if you can, right? YouTube limits it, but as soon as you can, go live. More than that, go live vertically, like a short. There's when people go through shorts, they end up on a live stream sometimes. I should do that more. Actually, let me write it down for myself. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. See, there's a lot of things I don't do, and if I would do, it will help a lot. So, but I do see you have vlogs. That's good. I would go live. Live is really, really good. But yeah, thank you for the advice. Yeah, really happy I could help. So everyone's got the green, blue, right? Cerulean blue. That's nice. My friend being very specific here. Good job. Let's see. Yeah, there is a bit of purple there too, and some of the grays. The magic of after image. I think in this example, I'm not even sure if it's after image or it's something else. After image, I imagine, is like when you close your eyes and you still see the light. But I don't know. Maybe it's relevant for that too. But yeah, thank you, Dwayne. Happy you saw too, Michael and Amy. Melanie. Hi, Liron. Great to see you. Looking good. Think of you and your family every day. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, so let's do the palette thing. I'll show you. My main palette is this. It's the Magello 18 well. It's a mess. My palette's a mess. I would like to simplify it, but what I have, generally speaking, is, let me get the mic here. Okay, so my most useful colors are around this area. So I have this is my most useful color. It's just black. This is lunar black, but it was neutral tint before that. I just refill over. This is also super useful. That's more of a lemony yellow. Lemon yellow is great for everything you're seeing here. Every yellow that's a little more bright and kind of opaque, that's a lemon yellow. I used to fill it also with Turner's yellow and a bunch of other similar yellows. It's like this well is for the category of yellows that are somewhat opaque for me. Black, as I mentioned, lunar black. I do have Pyrrole Scarlet, just a strong red. Every red you see here was Pyrrole Scarlet. Now here I have a useless color. I made a mistake of pouring I don't want to say the brand, and I'm not sure I remember it, but this is supposed to be like what do you call it? Quinacridone Rose, like a cool red. It's super neutral. I don't know why. The paint is just not good, so I'm not using it. These two I'm not using. See why I need a new palette. This is Burnt Sienna by Daniel Smith. Not my favorite Burnt Sienna, but it's a good kind of quick brown. Here we have some kind of a very dark blue. I don't remember what it is. Not a moon glow, but something like that. And here, these are super useful. This is my what do you call it? French ultramarine or ultramarine blue. This is the phthalo blue. This I don't use. It used to be like a sap green. These three are Daniel Smith's secondary set. That's very useful too. If you want to see my general supplies and paints, you can see them in my freewatercolor.com/gear. You'll see it there. Undersea green, carbazole violet, super useful for darkening, for neutralizing yellows. I use it all the time. And is that quinacridone burnt orange, if I'm not mistaken? A very strong orangey brown. It's very bright. These two I don't use. So out of this has what, like 24 or 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 18 wells. I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 wells out of 18 wells is what I use. Basically half the palette. So I should arrange a new one. Now I have a lot of other palettes, like this smaller one. Marjorie was awesome and sent me a bunch of palettes. The thing is, they don't have enough mixing area, so I put them on my Mijello palette. I would have preferred if I can have like the final setup. So I might actually pop some of these out and put them in a different palette eventually. We'll see about that. My palette's a mess. It's a result of not just the colors are a mess. Everything is a mess. And it's the result of it always evolving with me, but never really doing a reset. I never really and it's going to be a nightmare to clean it. So I might as well just buy a new one. That's what I have on the palette. It's a mess. Thank you once again, Melanie. Turquoise blue and rose madder make an amazing gray. I've been using. That's cool. Yeah, everyone will find their kind of cool mixes of colors that neutralize together that work well. Everyone has these different preferences. I really liked like the straightforward blue and orange. So like a French ultramarine and burnt sienna, something like that. I like a lot. I also enjoy violet and yellow. Very useful for shadows too. Because a lot of these things here are gray, violet, and yellow, but neutral. Dwayne, I just noticed the person. Did you add them in your painting? Actually, I have kind of added them, but not really. You can see it here. It's not really there. Hopefully it focused. I don't know. I can see. Yeah, it's like I left a bit of a mark there, but I haven't really. I should paint her blouse and I don't know what it is, like a shirt or a dress, whatever, black. That way the person pops. I took a hybrid approach where I merged the person with the background, but I did paint over the person a bit of different colors. We'll see. Les, I was saying that dark color would be every color on your palette currently. Oh, I see. Okay. It's funny, but whatever. You got a view of the palette anyway. Stephanie, hey, how are you doing? Hi, Liron, do you ever do practice versions of images you want to paint? Or do you feel that takes some of the freshness away, so to speak? I actually just did one recently, right? Am I imagining things, or was it... I did a recent video. Let's see. There was a prep sketch. Study for a larger piece. Yeah. The recent video I did, this one. Let me share it with you. This video was a study for an intended larger piece. Now, I don't do it for every painting. In fact, I don't do it for most. But for some, I do. If I feel like I'll gain something from it, like learn something new, this was done with the purpose of preparing for a more complex, larger version. And I probably will paint that version eventually, by the way. So yes, I do occasionally do that. Um, it doesn't take away the freshness at all. I find that, and I get the concern. Don't worry about that kind of a thing at all. That's not something to worry about. Let me tell you why. Because if you just wait a couple of days, it's a reset. Your brain will just approach it differently and in a fresh way. What will stay is the insights. So you'll remember, for example, if I do another version of this, I'll remember, oh, these trees should be more blue, right? I'll remember this building isn't actually a yellow, it's more of a gray, but I like the way it looks, so I'll keep it that way, right? Going through it, it's almost like an abstract insight sometimes. You don't know what you learned, but you learned it and it will help you. That often happens. Abstract insights is a concept I like. I'm going to make a video on this. Abstract insights. Abstract insights. Don't know what you learned, but you learned it. It's actually a good topic because a lot of experience works that way. It's very hard to say, when I do these videos of like 3 major insights or whatever, it's mostly for the views, the title itself, but often the insights are a little more abstract than that. It's not as obvious. Katie, I'd love to see what colors you have on your palette. There we go. We did that. A rookie Goosey, have you reviewed Yuko Nagayama's art by any chance? She has some interesting style that I'd say is kind of smeary but vibrant. I believe I have. I'm familiar with Yuko for sure, but have I reviewed Yuko Nagayama? I may be confusing them with a different artist. It seems like I haven't. I have reviewed an artist that really reminds me of Yuko Nagayama. By the way, you know what Nagayama means? Probably in Japanese. I'm going to look into her work later on. Yama is mountain. Usually when it's Yama, it means mountain. Nagai is long, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like a long mountain. I'm not sure if that's what it actually means, but yeah. Ta also. Ta means rice field. So many of the what was the name I had in mind? Like, it's so cool. Japanese is a cool language. But in any case, yeah. Yuko, I'm not sure what it means. I do know Ko is very popular for a woman's name. Ko, Hiroko, Yuko, very common. But yeah, just a quick Japanese lesson. Oh, yeah, for the ta, it can be da too. So Yamada, Yamada. Yama is mountain, da is rice field. So it's rice field next to a mountain, something like that, which is why Yamada is a super common, I believe it's a last name, but it's also a first name in Japanese. Yamada. Let's see here. Tiny Face McGee, I love it. It's still life idea and explain the colors and the shadows. Yeah, that the colors and shadows, that's what people struggle with. Let me write it down. I'll make a dedicated video on colors of shadows, and I'll use the same trick I showed you here. Colors of shadows. We'll do a couple of quick demos that I analyze the color we're looking at, and you see that trick, and it helps. I would love to understand what separates a professional rendition of still life versus an amateur rendition. Well, sometimes my renditions are amateurish too, so you get to see both. Some paintings of mine feel like an amateur sometimes. It depends on the subject matter. But yeah, it would be interesting. Michael, where in Israel is a good place to buy supplies? Amazon stopped shipping all the best stuff. Really, they have? I think I almost ordered today some neutral tint, actually, and I saw it's there available. But the last time I ordered from Amazon was months ago. Arta is a decent one. You have a couple of branches, and then what else is a good one? There used to be My Art. I just spilled some coffee on my painting, but no one will notice. Don't tell anyone. It's a really small dot. It's barely, you won't even be able to see it right here. I don't know how it got there, though. I'm going to move this aside for now. But yeah, I think My Art, MAI Art used to be good in Dizengoff Center. I don't know if it's there anymore. It moved for sure. That would be the main ones that I'm familiar with. There is another one, another chain. I just forgot its name. I don't know. I'm going a little short-term memory is damaged. Woozy86, I'm doing good. Thank you. So glad to be here after a hard day's work. Oh, that's cool. That's the best time to join. I will do, by the way, morning streams. I've been toying around with the idea for sure for a long time. Morning for me means night, and evening for most of the US. So we'll do that. Robert, what do you do to challenge yourself? Different techniques, genre, etc. I don't do anything specific to challenge myself. I just paint the thing that inspires me, and in the being in the moment and being fully dedicated to what you're painting, that's usually the challenge. Now, sometimes another form of challenge is to paint something really big and detailed, and I enjoy that kind of a thing too, where you really have to think every step through and plan it out. That's a fun challenge too, once in a while. I don't do that for every painting because I'm more of a loose kind of direct painter, but that's something I do. Sorry, I'm going to skip some comments. I'm not sure what they refer to, but yeah. What bonus did we talk about? I'm not sure. I'm way too late on the chat. Sorry. Woozy, I'm actually here for both drawing and watercolor. Cool, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, let's get some feedback. Watercolor, but I should be the drawing first. Okay. Cheryl, hi, Liron. I met Steve Mitchell at the Plein Air Convention, Lake Tahoe in May. He did a demo, and he is so talented as you are. A video of you two would be good for both of you and us. Yeah, definitely. I should do that, like a proper collaboration. I did bring him on for a live stream, and I did do some kind of an interview talk with him. But yeah, that could be good. Okay, watercolor. That's good feedback. Jan's Art. I started my art journey decades ago as a drawer. So watch your early drawing videos, but I've been painting with watercolor for ages, so our contents remained perfect. Oh, that's good. That's great. Yeah, I guess it filters also those who are interested in both. I do practice brushstrokes, then paint sometimes. Okay, cool. That's good. The palette, it's all gray. Yeah, it is. Sometimes it feels gray. Yeah, it's crazy to express how much the camera tones down the colors too. But it's funny. I get these comments all the time. So like poor viewers, they're trying to just see what's on my palette, and it's all a big black gray kind of color. Amy, your ability to see shapes and colors next level. Thank you. I appreciate the time you take to make all video formats and share your talents and knowledge. Thank you so much. I think, by the way, a big part of it, have been like this ever since I was a kid. I would stare at stuff. I would just try and figure out why they look the way they look. It's so strange. And I think it just developed with time, my understanding of what I'm looking at. Why does the light and shadow look this way? And I have a lot of gaps to close in my color matching skills and all of that. But I think just generally speaking, seeing shapes and details is something I really have been building ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember doing this. By the way, Baby is kind of similar. She sits down and stares at stuff, like not for a long time. She does talk and look at stuff, but she really tries to figure things out. She'll hold something and go like, I know all babies, not all babies, many babies do this, but I have seen not all babies do this. I think it's her thing. She'll just go like this. Like this for a couple of minutes, just trying to see it from different angles. I was the same. Genetics, I guess. Laura, what's your favorite burnt sienna? Ooh, that's a good question. There was one. I don't remember what it was. A really vibrant one. It might have been an M. Graham, because it was really rich and soft. I think it might be that. Look into that. It might be the one I enjoy the most so far. Katie, have you tried transparent red oxide from Daniel Smith? I haven't put a lot of time with it, but so far it feels like a nice burnt sienna. I don't remember if I have. I have a problem with all the red oxides. They dry really hard, and that's a problem for me. But I have no doubt that the color itself is useful, and if you use it fresh out of the tube, it's good. But otherwise, they tend to dry so hard. Transparent brown oxide is also really nice if you want less brown. Yeah, so that would be my go-to more, because I do prefer more red in my red than brown. Halburn, ciao Liron, ciao chat. How is y'all's day? Currently sketching while the stream plays. Oh, that's good. That's good. So there you go. Now you can make some progress while you listen in. That's good. And drawing is really an activity you can do while listening. M. Mello, please mention again your website with the palette colors. Sure thing. Let me actually do this here as a banner. I think I have it ready. See my supplies here. freewatercolor.com/gear. You should be able to find it there. GEAR. But yes, I need to update some of it, but it's mostly up to date. Mostly up to date. Like stream and more, see it. So yeah, everyone here, if you can take a moment to leave a like on this stream, it will help it get to more people, and you will see more of my stuff. Sometimes, I'm at fault of this too. I'll watch like a video of a creator I really like and then just move on with my day. Haven't left a like, and I made a conscious effort over the last couple of years to be better at it, especially if I watch something multiple times. If I see there's no like there, I'll immediately leave a like. So yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. Nia, if I ever did a live, I don't think people would stay to watch a 12-year-old like me talking about stuff I barely know. No, talk about stuff you do know, your experience, your very personal stuff to you. Not personal necessarily as in you don't want to share, but things that are unique to you. People will watch. People your age might watch more. You never know. I'd give it a try. MLO, what brand is your Pyrrole Scarlet Red? It's Daniel Smith. But I found White Knights is really good too. It's really fiery red. Works really well. Nia, but I'm pretty sure my friends would be. That's good enough, I think. Halburn, would love to see you paint again in black and white. Or if I misremembered, either way, you should do tips with monochrome paintings, specifically gray tones. Yeah, definitely. I'll do more of that. I don't know why my recent ones haven't done so well when I go black and white, but we'll give it a look. I'll remember. I don't have to write that down. Blow at the coup. I'm not sure I pronounced it correctly. You might have already said, but what paper is your painting on? It looks quite thick. It's 300 grams, so not super thick. This one is, so it's hot press, which means, what is it? I don't remember. I don't even remember. It should be, yeah, it's Saunders Waterford. It's Saunders Waterford hot press. It's not Arsh. It's actually not Arsh. Saunders Waterford. It's a good one. I like Saunders Waterford. Gamachi, just curious, how many layers, sessions, hours would you estimate that painting took you? About 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. Layers is like 1.5, because I did a lot of things directly. Sessions, it was 2 sessions the same day. That's pretty much it. Isabel, if you're talking about the one I just showed, right? I was so impressed by that big painting, very hard in watercolor. Yes, it's a different kind of challenge. Alara, make sure you give us plenty of notice if you switch times. I'm used to getting up at 5 a.m. for our lives. Yeah, sorry about that. I will. It's probably not going to even be switching times. It's going to be in addition. So don't worry about that. I don't like the color burnt sienna at all. I avoid putting it on my palette. It's interesting. Any shade of brown, really. Yeah, this is why I do prefer the more orange burnt siennas. And some of them, depending on the brand, are more orange. Les, I used to take my toys apart when I was a baby. I grew up to be a mechanic. Also, you never know. You may have the next Nita angle. Yeah, that is 100% accurate, because I can tell you I never took stuff apart. I wasn't really good at putting stuff back together. I was always on the more artsy side of things. So my dad and I used to do something fun. He would get like little plane models, airplane models, the old ones, not the ones that like are fancy and you can just kind of stick the parts together. The ones where it came with like a really bad glue and you had to glue the parts carefully and the glue really stunk. And then you paint the models if you want, or you put some decals or stickers on it. That was a thing we did enjoy, but it was always more of a visual thing rather than a mechanical thing. Now, I did build something mechanic. Let me show you. It's actually here. I don't think I shared that much. I don't know if you're familiar with these U-Gears models. I don't even need the headset for now. But yeah, I built this thing. Took me a couple of weekends, but yeah, it actually works if you encourage it a bit. Let's see if I can encourage it. Yeah, it needs some charging. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can charge it a bit. So, or maybe I locked it in place. I don't even remember how that thing works. Okay, yeah, I got it. So I'm gonna lock it in place. I'm gonna charge it. One of the parts broke on me, and I was lucky that it still works. Hopefully, I'm charging it correctly. Yeah, okay, it's good. So check it out. I'm gonna rotate this thing, pull this, and with some encouragement, because I need to go over the parts. It's not gonna work. Or will it? Give it a shake? Nah. It worked up till maybe a couple of weeks ago. Let me charge it some more, because you're supposed to do it like 80 times. This is a super tangent, but yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got it to work for a bit. Oh, this thing actually gets it stuck. Interesting. Wait, why is that? Okay, let's see. Whatever. Now it moves. It works a bit. I don't know why. Usually spinning this. Okay, yeah, there we go. It gets stuck on something. I'm not sure what, but anyway, you get the point. I'll have to rework this thing, see why it gets stuck. But yeah, it used to work really well. Now I watched a tutorial for a part that I was having a really hard time with, and everyone was like, it's not working, it's not spinning enough. And it took some work, it took some adjustment, some really oiling with wax. But yeah, that's the kind of thing I enjoy. But it's more like sticking the pieces together. It was a long process though. Fuse blower, I always mix my browns like sienna from a red and a green. Interesting. To me, it would be really hard. Usually it produces more of a gray. Interesting. I made part where it's high. Is drawing important? Means we can draw with watercolor too. You can do whatever you want. You can draw with watercolor. You can decide to draw with a pencil. You can skip the drawing altogether if you're good enough at painting and visualizing things. Halburn, do you consider yourself an art book collector? If so, have you got any titles to recommend to novice here? No, I'm not actually a big expert on that. I will say when we visited New York, we went to Barnes and Nobles, a lot of Barnes and Nobles, and some cool smaller, kind of more niche art bookstores and art bookstores. And I really enjoyed seeing a lot of like concept art. I browsed through some of the books. I especially enjoyed some video game concept art. But yeah, I don't have good recommendations, unfortunately. It's just not the thing I'm an expert on. Sorry. Oh, and I would love to see a 2025 update on your recommended watercolor paint brands, and also perhaps a 2025 guide on watercoloring on a budget. Interesting. I don't know if my paint brands will change that much. Watercoloring on a budget will be interesting. I might do that. Let's see here. I mean, can there be universal brush for all watercolors? Works means for broad area like skies and some details. I'm just a beginner and always get confused which one to use. Usually I go with the biggest one I can and still get the details I want because it's faster, right? If you paint digitally, you're going to use the biggest brush you can to cover as big of a space as you can. It's not necessarily easier because you need to mix more quantity. But generally speaking, the most universal type of brush you'll find is something like this that's a mop that has a good point. If you can find a brush that is wide and has a good point, this Skoda is one of the ones I use the most, and it has a point. It's Skoda Barocco, it's called. It has a point, but it can also go wide enough to cover some areas. That would be the best. But as long as you're not painting really small sizes, you do usually need two brushes, one that's a little larger. I use some of my flat, larger brushes to cover big areas. It's a totally understandable question. I used to struggle with this a lot as a beginner, by the way. MB fan. I have started to use Schminke granulators and have trouble with the chalky residue and some of the red hues. Interesting. If anyone can chime in, I have no experience with that. So, yeah. Threaten it or call it names usually works for me. Funny. Um, yeah, it's interesting. Granulations. I wanted to get like a granulating what do you call it, medium or something like that, just for fun to test it out, but haven't gotten the chance to. So yeah, unfortunately not an expert. Fuse blower for watercolor. It's not the paints that are expensive; it's the paper. Yes, that's true. I purchased a calligraphy brush, but it stores much water. No, that's actually a good thing. I do have one. Let me show you. This one I like a lot. It's kind of a calligraphy brush. It has a lot of, it stores a lot of water too, and it goes flat and pointy. So you can, depending on the side you use, you can either create like a flat brush, or you can do a point or a line. So this is a really good one too. And it's a long one, so you can do both loose or go a little more up close. I like it a lot. I think it's from Michael Solovyev's set of brushes. It's a really useful, and it's good for wet and wet too. Sorry about that. This is the same thing what I purchased. Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of them that look similar. I don't know if you got the Michael Soloviev one. I found that's the one I like the most. I bought like a really cheap one at Michael's when I visited the US, and it turned out to be really bad. Laura, I think we all developed the brush collection until we figure out what we like. Yeah, that's true. And was it a couple of, like almost a year back, I just consolidated all my brushes into one big chunk and sold like 2/3 of them. I still have a third of them, which is tens, many dozens. But I just needed to make space, and I decided I don't want to throw them. I gave away some, but I sold a lot. A lot of them are a little more expensive, so I just gave away tons of them, and sold tons of them. Isabel, I have some large Chinese calligraphy brushes that make a good point and hold lots of water. They paint on rice paper and mount it later. Yeah, that's cool. You can also just use them for watercolor. It works really well on normal paper. Fuse blower, nothing beats Kolinsky for water retention, but they are really expensive. Yeah, I have a few, but the ones I have are small, so I haven't gotten to test them enough, with a larger size. Maybe I have a Kolinsky one that I'm unaware of that it's Kolinsky. I'm not sure. I bought a cheaper one. Yeah, that's fine. Some of them are great too, by the way. Faisal, hello, Liron. Do you think we can apply drawing to solve real life problems? Interesting. Some concepts are transferable, the more general ones. Like how to fix mistakes in whatever field, how to improve. But that's very global, kind of universal concepts. It's a good question. I'll have to think about it. Apply drawing to solve real life problems. You do have the whole design element. That includes drawing, designing things geometrically or whatever in a way that works mechanically. Something in my teeth. That's one way, but more broad than that, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. It's a great question, actually. It's a great question. M. Mello, what brand is your Pyrrol Scarlet? It's Daniel Smith, but also White Knights. St. Petersburg White Knights works really well. Same kind of concept. Feels the same. Marjorie, hope you are using my Isabey paintbrush. I need to see it used. That's a good question. I'm not using it right now in my current studio setup, and we moved a bunch of times. I'll have to dig it out and maybe give it some use. But thank you so much. I definitely have it, though. Have not sold that one. That's for sure. Yeah. Fuse blower, there are only two types of painters, those who use cobalt blue and those that use ultramarine. Funny. I gave cobalt a try. I actually liked it, and maybe I should use it more than ultramarine. Let's get rid of that. But yeah. So, okay, an hour and a half. I think we'll start wrapping it up, mostly because my voice is starting to die out. Drawing helps one to see differently. Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. Hear that? Yeah. So I think we'll get close to wrapping it up. I have an idea to solve real life problems using comic style drawings. Well, go for it. I'm curious to see. There is still a lot of room for innovation, always. Dwayne, do you have any drawings waiting to be painted, or do you draw and paint all in one sitting? That's a good question. I do sometimes have these, but at the moment, no. I have partially completed paintings that have sat there for months, but specifically sketches that are waiting to be painted, no. Usually, from the moment I sketch and the moment I start painting, it's a short time frame. No real reason for that, by the way. That could work too, but when I had to hustle like and paint a lot of paintings consecutively, I would draw all of them, then paint a first layer on all of them, then paint a second layer. I used to do that, not anymore. And that was for a different use. Amit, just a quick one. I videograph a lot of my drawings and upload them on YouTube, but many times when I see them again, I think twice why I uploaded. Will it be good for the future of my YouTube journey? Listen, you can always remove them. If something is not up to par, you can always turn the video into what do you call it? Not private, unlisted, right? No, your work is good. You're good. You have room to grow, which is important actually, but definitely like good enough to publish. I wouldn't worry about that too much. And you have 157 subscribers. So what does that mean? People actually are interested. Keep going. You'll get there. Laura, thank you, Liron. Everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Yes, thank you, Laura. And thank you, everyone who was here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, morning, afternoon, brunch, whatever time you're at. And hopefully you have a nice weekend too. I'm happy this was informative, by the way. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wizzy, too. Thank you, Agamachi. Fuse Blower, thank you so much. Honey Based. Yeah, I could also use M. Graham. Yeah, Sennelier gave me a lot of trouble, by the way. The ones I have tried. I tried the wrong pigments. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll do another one hopefully next week, maybe painting, maybe not. Did want to have a video for Saturday, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. That's fine. Keep an eye out for next week's video. And yeah, is there anything I think that's it. Till next time, take care. Oh yeah, I will try and add timestamps to this one. We'll see. To all of them if I can, just to make it more easy for those who are watching later on. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you, Below it the Coup 29. Thank you all. Thank you, much appreciated. We'll talk soon. Take care.